Hi, and welcome to your Urban Connection. Remember, this is the channel that is often imitated, but is never duplicated. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that, we have a saying here that this show is not meant to educate you, but rather to not meant to entertain you, but rather to educate and inform you. And today is going to be no different. Okay. But before we get into the show, let me remind you that the sponsor for this show is Squeegee Squad. And Squeegee Squad is your professional, multi-level, high-rise commercial window cleaner. Okay? And they have some new things they're involved with, and I'm going to tell you about in just a short while. But first, let's get into this show. There's an old saying that what goes up must come down. And what we've seen in the last week, ladies and gentlemen, that is holding true, apparently, from all indications, for the hip hop music industry. You see, the last few days, there's been a lot, and I mean a lot, of information that is coming out about the happenings in the hip hop music industry. And none of it is good, I might add. And so, what I want to do is I want to talk about a little bit of it because some big names in the music industry are involved, and a lot of these stories are relating to them. And I want to tell you this first of all of the names and all of the stories are not out yet because I'm being informed that there were about 600 lawsuits that were filed on yesterday, which was the last day for the this adult sexual, I believe, it's called sexual act in New York. Yesterday was the last day to file. Now there was an extension given of 1 year, and this began in 2022. And a 1 year extension was given to people that could file lawsuits even if the statute of limitations had expired. They were given an additional 1 year. And I just want to tell you, in the last 3 to 4 days, 5 at the most, all hell has broken loose. Okay. And I said a lot of it has to do with the hip hop industry and some damning allegations. And I'm going to use that word, allegations, at this point. And it involves several higher ups, well known names, prominent people in the hip hop industry. Now, before I go on with the story, I want to tell you that this really should not come as a surprise to anybody that a lot of the information that's coming forward involves the sexual assaults, the battery, the beating, the degrading, the disrespect of women, and Black women in particular. Now, the reason I say this should be no surprise is because if you'll recall, the hip hop music industry got its start by denigrating and degrading Black women. After all, in the very early stages, if you'll recall, and I'm sure you will if you were around, the industry started out releasing music referring to women as bitches and hoes, and it degraded from there. Now, in reality, the industry should have never gotten off the ground using those types of lyrics in music targeted to the Black community in particular. And of course, it's spread to other communities, but using that degrading language, that denigrating language, that disrespect for Black women Should have been a no-no from the very beginning. But we accepted it. Now, let me say this. I want to be sure you get this. I hold responsible for this, not the artist, but the record companies and the record producers for this kind of stuff being thrown at us. And I'm going to use that word. Not distributed to us, but being thrown at us. And we fell for it. We accepted it. And we never should have. We should have never started to buy those CDs, the music videos, the pictures, none of that. We should have turned our backs on it, walked away from it. Don't buy it. We should have sent a message that that's not who we are. We have more respect for ourselves than to allow you to throw this trash at us, and we're going to buy into it hook, sink, and lock. And that's exactly what we did. So now it's evolving. And as they say, what goes up must come down. And hip hop for the last, 20 years has gone up. And a lot of people have been hurt by it. A lot of people have been disrespected, have been degraded, have been denigrated, all for the sake of some people in the record business who don't look like us to make billions of dollars. We should have stopped them, but we didn't. Now, let me just tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. Here's what happened, the way I see it. The creators of music went out in the streets and found some wannabe recording artists and said, hey, look, we got a way. We can show you how to make money. I mean, big time money. But there's only one catch. And they might not have told them this. But the catch was, in order to make money, you have to go out and degrade and denigrate and disrespect your people. But you know what? You see, there's some people that will do anything for money. And they don't care about denigrating, degrading, or disrespecting someone because they have no self-respect themselves. So they found no shortage of people who were willing to take them up and make music that was nothing more than trash. Okay? Unfit, basically, for public consumption. Unfit for airplay on our public airways. But yet, we went to the record shops and we bought the trashy music. We accepted it in our homes. A lot of it was music that was not fit for family listening. But at the same time, we allowed our 13, 14, 15-year-old kids to go to the record stores, music stores, and buy this music. A lot of them wouldn't play it at home because they couldn't, they know their parents would not allow them to listen to the words and the lyrics on that album or that CD. So they played it in the car. They played it at parties. They played it elsewhere. But a lot of them didn't play it at home. Okay? Because it was not allowed. Now, so basically, that's what happened. And now we find out that not only were the lyrics trashy, but then it de-escalated or it escalated to the point where these same artists, in some cases, were physically abusing women, including sexually assaulting women and doing whatever the hell they wanted to do in a disrespectful manner to women in order to control them, take advantage of them. These women did not realize they were being exploited. You see, these women just wanted to be with somebody that had money, just wanted to be with somebody that had a famous name, just wanted to be with somebody that they thought could provide them with a lifestyle that they could only and had only dreamed of. And they allowed themselves to be used and misused, disrespected, abused for that purpose. They were supplied drugs, supplied alcohol, supplied sexual playmates, not necessarily of their choosing, forced to engage in sexual activities that were not necessarily of their choosing, but all the while, they were loving the lifestyle they were living. Now, they didn't love the beatings and the physical abuse, but they put up with it because they were afraid to stand up for themselves. They were afraid to walk away. Now, so now we have the walls crumbling down, and a lot of big name, prominent, rich artists in the hip hop industry are coming under fire. And there a lot has been said, a lot of people have been involved in the past week, but it's not over with yet. Because as I said, there were over 600 lawsuits filed on the very last day, which was yesterday, Thanksgiving Day. So they have not sorted through all of those lawsuits. So there will be other names that will be mentioned that you will be hearing about. And none of it is good. None of it is favorable to the record industry, to the hip hop music industry. None of it. Now, further, I'm going to take this a step further. We're talking about the hip hop industry. But I want to tell you about what was an offshoot of the music industry. The music industry, there was these people, these big names that I'm telling you about, were so successful with this trashy music, pushing it off onto the Black community, that they went out and started to do TV shows, which were just as trashy. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Basketball Wives was nothing but trash. Most of the females in that show were not the wives of basketball players, but they engaged in trashy, nasty, vulgar language, disrespect for each other, disdain, degradation, catfights. Actually, to use my own words, acting a fool, all in the name of entertainment. And once again, we fell for it. So that was so successful that they come with other so-called reality shows. Love and Hip Hop uh, uh, Atlanta housewives, Married to Medicine, all of those shows, so-called reality shows that had nothing in common with Black reality. They all showed Black people in a negative light. And we fell for it because we didn't have the common sense to walk away from it. And said, if you cannot produce TV shows, if you cannot produce musical videos that show us in a positive light, we won't buy it. We won't watch it. We won't listen to it. But we didn't do that. You see, we were so enthused about seeing Black folks act a fool on TV in music videos. We were so fooled by seeing gangster style rappers doing their music videos. We thought it was entertaining, but actually it was degrading. It was denigrating. It was disrespectful to us as a race of people. It showed nothing positive about the lives of Black people. It was produced and distributed to us by people that don't look like us, don't think like us, don't act like us for our consumption. And we did just what they wanted us to do. We fell into their trap, hook, line, and sinker. And it continued to denigrate throughout the industry. It now went from the music industry to the TV industry to the movie industry. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, let's face the facts. It is time for us to say to people who want to make money off of us by having us make fools of ourselves and looking like fools to everybody else and being disrespected by everybody else, it is time for us to say, no. That party is over. That party is over. We're not going to continue to set theater records for attendance at your movies if they can't show us in a positive light. If you can't provide our Black actors and actresses with something that makes sense and paints us in a meaningful light, paints us as working class people, then we don't want any part of what you're offering. We're not buying any more of that snake oil. We're not going to be fooled anymore by your disrespectful, negative leaning videos, movies, TV shows, none of that. You're not going to make money off our backs, making us look like fools to the rest of the world. You see, the industry does not show any respect to Black people in a meaningful way in this country. Okay? I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about it. Now, let me just tell you, what I'm saying is going to upset somebody, and I understand that, but I'm going to say it anyhow. because you need to hear it. You need to open your eyes and see what is happening to you. And you're allowing it. You know, you are basically saying to those people, give me more, give me more, give me more. All right? But no, it's time to say, I've had enough. I don't want to see Black people portrayed in the light that you've been portraying us for the last 50, 100 years. You've made plenty of money off of us, but the party's over now. And the sooner that you decide to stop buying disrespectful, denigrating, demeaning music videos, stop watching trashy TV shows that make you look like fools and buffoons, stop going to movies that do not portray Black folks in a meaningful light like they do every other race, then you're not seeing the light. And you're not going to get anything better because you're not demanding anything better. You're accepting anything they throw your way. And you're doing it gracefully. And you're doing it loyally. And they're showing no loyalty to you. They're showing no loyalty, no respect to you nor your race. How much does it take for you to wake up and start thinking and start demanding better? You deserve it. If you have any self-respect, you wouldn't spend your time, or I should say waste your time, watching or listening to trash. And that's what you've been doing for the last 20, 40, 50 years, because that's all they've been giving you. And that's all they're ever going to give you. If you don't have the self-respect and the decency to deny them the opportunity to line their pockets while you spend your hard-earned money to see something that is not even worthy, even if it was free. So wake up, people. Wake up. This era, this generation has been filled with such trash, such nonsense. So let me tell you what it's led to. It's led to women being raped, assaulted, beaten, abused at will at a level that's never been before hip hop and its degradation of our women. It has led to gangsters or wannabe gangsters all across this country. It has led to people, and mostly women, in these reality TV shows acting stupid, being trashy, and I can't think of a single one of them that has been elevated to stardom in A-rated movies that is distributed to a general audience. I can't name one. Maybe you can. But I can't name one. So that shows you that outside of the junk that they're putting, there is no market for them. Or at least that's what the people that are in the power in the movie industry, that's what they feel, because they haven't elevated them. They have not made any roles for those people. Name me one reality star that has made it in the general market in the movie industry. That should tell you something. But most of you have never thought about that. You just thought about the fact that you're being entertained. That's not entertainment. That's trash that you're mistaking for entertainment. There's nothing about that that encourages you to become a more productive person in the United States. Nothing about it. It's entertaining. You can't make money off of that because you're not the entertainer. You are the entertained. And there's no future in that. Well, you can laugh. You can get a lot of laughs. You know, you can be entertained to death, ladies and gentlemen, but you deserve more than that. But you have to ask for it. You have to demand it. Enough is enough. But you know what? It's not for me to say for you. You have to decide for yourself what is enough for you. See, I had enough a long time ago. I have never one time bought a hip hop record, CD, tape, nothing. I never bought into that. I never bought into that. When I heard the lyrics and used the words bitches and hoes as a way of describing Black women, I knew that wasn't for me. Because that's not the way I see women. I don't see them that way. I don't refer to them that way. You know, as I was coming up, a hoe was a garden tool. And now it's applied to women in a very negative way. And, you know, it's gotten so bad that, you know, now women refer to themselves using those terms. That shows you how disrespectful and how demeaning we have allowed the music industry to take some of us. Think about that. That was unheard of 20, 30 years ago. Somebody called you those were fighting words. Somebody called your sister that, those were fighting words. Somebody called your mother that, those were fighting words. They called your cousin that, those were fighting words. And today, we laugh about it. Okay. Now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Squeegee Squad has another service, and it's called gutter cleaning. And right now, with us transitioning from fall to winter, the trees are shedding, leaves are falling all over the place, and a lot of those leaves are finding their way into your gutters, and they're clogging up your gutters, ladies and gentlemen. And what happens when these gutters get filled, the water is not distributed away from your foundation, okay? Because it's the way the path is clogged. So Squeegee Squad wants you to know that they have a Black Friday special for cleaning your gutters. And you should do it each year at this time. Get the leaves and other debris out of those gutters, ladies and gentlemen, so the water can flow and flow away from the foundation of your home. Because I don't know if you know it or not, but when water is flowing to your foundation, after a while, it has a tendency to crack your foundation walls. So do everything you can do to keep the water flowing away from your foundation. All right. So give the good people at Squeegee Squad a call and get a free estimate. And here's a number 316 202. Bad taste in some of y'all's mouth. But I'm sorry, because as I always say here, I'm going to tell it like I see it. And some people might not like that. But that's the only way I know to do it. I'm going to come correct, or I'm not going to come at all. So take heed to what I've said, and more deserve better than what you're getting with what you call entertainment. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. That's my show for today.